what do you do to replace Lincoln Riley? And immediately there's a head coach at Tennessee who's done really, really good with his first opportunity as a Power 5 head coach.
Yeah, I don't think that they should go after
you're going to lose Josh Heupel.
Yeah, no, I think Oklahoma can do better than Josh Heupel, personally. Or Matt Campbell.
Yeah, sure. Yes, that would be awesome. I mean, that would be a very
assuming he wants to recruit in that style at that level,
right?
Like, there's a different way of recruiting at the very highest level, and you got to be all in on it. You got to be willing to do it, and you have to understand what it entails. So it's not something that Iowa State does, right? But that'd be absolutely a call I would make.
Do you think that there'll be a narrative coming out of this that he's running away from the SEC?
Sure. Yeah. Is it unfair? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe there's something to it, though. You know, USC, though, if you get that program right, and I assume Lincoln Riley is going to get pretty big investment from USC if this, officially happens, which at this point, I assume that it is. They're going to invest a whole lot of money. With all due respect to Oregon, if USC is right, Oregon can't touch them. It's not 1A, 1B.
Correct.
It's a clear 1-2 in my mind.
And I like it when Oregon's taken off, USC is closing out its run. It was fun because it was the alpha down south and it was the underdog up north. I thought I kind of like that for Pac-12 football, and I think having the strength in both of those divisions and having them with those two stylistic differences, the traditional power with the national championships, the program that has really found itself in a launching pad here in more recent years. Like I think that makes Pac-12 football way more exciting. That makes selling Pac-12 football to an East Coast and a Southern and a Midwestern audience so much easier when we're able to put together these rivalries. And even though you're right, it's not a 1A, 1B, it's a 1-2, but having both those programs hot at the same time makes it as marketable, as interesting as it possibly could be.
100%. Chip, I think you absolutely nailed that. If not Matt Campbell for Oklahoma, who?
Lane Kiffen. Watch me say Lane Kiffen for any job that pops up.
I mean, if LSU and UF wouldn't touch him.
We don't know that LSU wouldn't touch him.
That's fair.
And you don't go get Mark Stoops, do you? That doesn't feel right.
He's done a good job at Kentucky. The narrative will be that he knows the SEC. He's a proven winner. That type of thing.
It could be a landing spot for your guy Bill O'Brien.
If Alabama rehomes Bill O'Brien to Oklahoma,
it's disrespectful to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
If
maybe he could do a good job there, right? He did a nice job at Penn State. He had some success with the Texans in the NFL, and then obviously a lot of non-success there for quite a while, despite having a really good QB. I don't know. What about Luke Fickell?
I think that if Oklahoma can get Luke Fickell to come be the head coach, then that's a story that has that has Oklahoma being successful in the immediate future. I think.
I would agree. I think he would do a really good job there. One of the issues with Oklahoma now.
I mean, does Mike Elko get that job? Do you go Oklahoma? Defense? Yeah.
You could potentially, I guess. One of the issues with OU is that you are going to play teams that are better along the lines of scrimmage on a more regular basis now. And there are not a ton of those elite level players like that in Oklahoma. This is what we talked about with our friend on CBS HQ, the huge Oklahoma fan on Twitter.
Amanda
yes, when Amanda was like, why would you leave LSU or Oklahoma for LSU? And my thought was, is it easier to get a quarterback to follow you to LSU because of your reputation as a quarterback guru, or is it easier to get big old dudes from Louisiana to follow you to Norman? And I think the answer is obvious. I think quarterback recruiting travels more. Oklahoma, we'll see. We will see on this. Sorry, a lot of people tweet at me. LSU is still a better opening than Oklahoma, right? In the SEC.
LSU is still, yes, LSU is still a better opening than Oklahoma.
Unless there's something about the LSU job that we don't know about.
I think that as I'm trying to entertain where Oklahoma goes, I'm willing to take steps down into like the coordinator role that I probably wasn't doing, especially with the Scott Woodward home run hire type stuff.